New Jersey is a cold ass place. Irvington, East Orange, that shit is cold. And you know, there's parts of Cali that's LA for real. Like, but I'm talking
Right.
context of like what the surroundings and the environment did for my psyche. It expanded my brain in a different.
Right.
So I came back and I was like, first of all, I need to get the fuck out of Jersey. Let me at least go stay in New York, you
Right.
know, because in New Jersey, I was just getting into trouble.
Right.
Like my energy was just, I was just getting into way too much trouble and like causing turmoil in both households. So I'm like, how do I need to go somewhere where it's people like me
Right.
that at least that are thinking differently, that want different shit, that's into the art I'm into, like the style I'm into. Like I was fresh in high school, right?
Mm.
Only motherfucker that was fresh like me was the Asian kids. Like that was
Right. Yeah. 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 They
how,
stay fresh.
but niggas didn't understand it. So I'm like, I need to get out of here. You feel me?
Right.
And then I stayed in New York and I started bouncing back from New York to LA for over 10 years.
Mm.
And I have family in both, you know, but California is not necessarily a settling place for me, but definitely one of my homes in the US. I definitely was welcomed into the West Coast and I love it.
That's bold. A lot of people are afraid, and it's probably because you said you moved around a lot, and me as well. Like just kind of up and down the West Coast, from North Carolina to Wilmington to Philly to Massachusetts. But like, I know people in North Philly that ain't never leave off the block.
Never.
Like
Never.
out, like how do you even like? I can't even imagine like not leaving a certain like that's like you just walk up and down this block, my G.
Yeah. But that's what the people wanted. That's how they wanted. That's how they designed the environments to. These people are masterminds in understanding how the human mind works.
Sorcery at its finest.
You know, it's like, okay, we're going to create this type of environment with this demographic in it. It's only going to have these kind of resources in it, and they're going to be very limited. The schools, the information that the schools are funneling are going to be extremely limited. So therefore, the brain is not expand. It's like a turtle you put in the tank. The turtle's only going to grow as big as.
Yeah.
You feel me? Which is fucking sad because turtles, one of my favorite animals, they live to be 100 plus years old. You know, they're supposed to be in the ocean flowing freely, expansive. You know, you put them in a tank, they only grow as big as the fucking tank, right? And like that's how this shit is designed. Like even in New York, you know what I mean? I tell my New York family this shit all the time. New Yorkers are scared to leave New York. Yeah. Why? Everything is there. You got everything.
Convenient.
But like just like any other place, it's a vortex, right? It's a drug that you become addicted to mentally. Like your dopamine works specifically with things you're used to. So it's scary to think of outside of that. It's like, damn, I don't know. But as soon as you do it, the moment you step, changes you.
Right. It's that paradigm shift. That's the word that I'm always talking to my audience about. Yeah. Paradigm shifts, man. Right. You have to do things. You have to put forth a certain action, and you have to move through fear. Right. Sometimes we're afraid, and sometimes that feeling don't go away. You know what I mean? Y'all see me talk about it all the time. Like I have anxiety going live, like, but I still move accordingly. And sometimes people tell me, like, I didn't even know you was nervous. Like, fam, I'm just moving through that fear. You have to do it. It's inevitable. If you want to grow, if you want to be successful, if you want to elevate your mind, if you want mind expansion, you know what I mean? You have to take that first step, that one step.
That's the bravest thing you could do.
Yes.
Take the step. Fear only exists in the mind. So the heart cannot hold fear.
Right.
Heart is the realest nigga you'll ever meet. It's never gonna lie to you. Never. Steer you wrong. Our minds can have a mind of their own. Our minds can harbor fear, which is fear is a constricting factor. It restricts you. It literally like hinders your growth, literally. But there's a power in that, right? Because when we ask ourselves, what am I afraid of? That's one of the most powerful questions you ask yourself. What am I scared of? to the bottom of it. What is keeping me from going from da to da? There's a fear there. So once you get to the bottom of that, that's where the answer resides. The answer to all your questions resides to where your fear is. Power in that, right? It's just taking that first step.
And I also want to add, I've got a lot of knowledge on like foster children and adoption. And so when kids are in foster care, or like if they're in a traumatic environment, their medulla oblongata won't grow.
See, that's crazy.
It stops development. And so these kids will be small, they'll be, you know, timid. And then like when they get in an environment that flourishes, they start to grow. Like all the stuff, all the processes come back. So like that's how deep fear restricts. You know what I mean? Like that's very interesting.
It is. It's a very interesting concept.
All right, so this is going good, and a lot of the questions that I had, they've been pretty much answered in just the conversation that we're having. So that's pretty great. I'm doing great. You're doing great. Thank you. All right, so you're an entrepreneur. I'm an entrepreneur. What is it all that you do? What can you tell us about what can you tell us about generating multiple streams of income?
Okay, so generating multiple streams of income is absolutely integral in a pathway to freedom